English Easy Podcast.
Hello, learners. Welcome back to English Easy Podcast, your partner to learning English.
It is great to be here.
So, I want you to picture this for a second. Just imagine you're sitting across from a British immigration officer at Heathrow, or I don't know, maybe you're under the bright lights opposite an examiner for your IELTS speaking test.
Oh, that is a high-pressure situation.
Right. Your palms are sweating, your heart is racing, and you just need to ask a simple question or state a really simple need.
And you know the vocabulary, right? Like you've studied the flashcard.
Exactly. But the verb you choose in that exact high-pressure moment might literally be the difference between sounding like a polite, considerate guest and, well, a demanding dictator.
Yeah, and that invisible social pressure is exactly what makes speaking a new language so intimidating, especially at the intermediate level.
It really is.
Because, when you're just starting out studying vocabulary lists, language feels a bit like a straightforward math equation.
Just plugging things in.
Right. You learn the noun for water, you learn a verb for desire, you plug them together, and boom, you have a sentence. But out in the real world, communication isn't just about conveying raw data.
No, it's way more complicated than that.
It is. It's about navigating this really nuanced landscape of social etiquette.
It's a minefield, honestly. Like, you think you're just asking for a cappuccino, but you might accidentally be insulting the barista.
Which nobody wants to do.
Exactly. And that is our entire mission for this deep dive today. We are taking a close look at our source materials to untangle three tiny but incredibly common English expressions that trip up almost every learner. We're looking at want, would like, and wish.
And I have to say, mastering the subtle, invisible differences between these three is honestly a secret weapon for sounding completely natural.
I couldn't agree more.
Using these three expressions correctly is one of the clearest markers that separates someone who just translates word for word in their head from someone who speaks with true fluency.
Yeah, it shows you actually get the culture of the language.
Exactly. So whether you're preparing for a major exam where every single nuance is graded, or you're just, planning a dream trip abroad and you want to blend in, understanding these emotional and social tones will give you the confidence to speak without freezing up.
So let's get right into the foundational concepts. The most basic tool we have in English for expressing desire is the word want.
Right, the classic.
Yeah, and structurally, it's very straightforward. You just use want plus a noun, like I want coffee, or you use want plus another verb, like I want to travel or I want to sleep.
It's incredibly common, and honestly, it's the first verb of desire most learners encounter.
Makes sense. It's easy.
It is. It's direct, it's practical, and it gets straight to the point.
But here's where we need to look at the social context. Because while saying I want a sandwich is grammatically flawless, using it in public feels kind of wrong.
Yeah, it can be a bit harsh.
To me, using want in a nice restaurant is a lot like wearing sweatpants to a formal wedding.
That is a brilliant way to put it.
Right, like it's not illegal. And people will understand what you were doing, but it fundamentally clashes with the social environment. If I look up at a waiter and just say, I want a sandwich, it comes across as pretty aggressive.
It does. And the psychology behind why want feels like wearing sweatpants to a wedding comes down to how it positions you, the speaker.
How do you mean?
Well, want focuses entirely on your own internal state. It's just a statement of fact about your needs, and it leaves absolutely no room for the other person's agency.
Oh, I see. It's very me-centric.
Exactly. In polite society, especially in service interactions, stating a direct demand feels abrasive. I mean, it's perfectly fine if you're at home with your family or close friends, but in public spaces, it definitely borders on rude.
So we need to change our clothes, socially speaking.
Yes, get out of the sweatpants.
We need a polite upgrade to replace those verbal sweatpants. And that upgrade is the expression would like. This is basically the gold standard for sounding natural in cafes, restaurants, or, when you're shopping.
Yeah, softens the request significantly. Instead of demanding something, you're offering a polite preference.
It's softer.
Much softer. It gives the listener, the waiter, the store clerk a sense of respect.
Okay, let's run a quick scenario to show how this sounds in practice. Let's imagine we're at a busy, slightly upscale cafe in London.
Okay, I like it.
You are the barista taking orders during the morning rush, and I am the customer trying to use the correct polite language.
Good morning. What would you like to order today?
Hi there. I'd like a cappuccino, please, and I'd like a slice of that chocolate cake.
Notice how smooth that interaction is.
Very civilized.
Right. The customer didn't say, I want a cappuccino, I want cake. That would have instantly broken the polite professional atmosphere of the cafe.
It would have felt so demanding.
Exactly. By using would like, the transaction feels cooperative rather than demanding.
And there is a crucial pronunciation secret hiding in that interaction that we really need to highlight from our sources.
Yes, the contraction.
Exactly. Native English speakers almost never say the full, uncontracted phrase, I would like, in casual conversation. We shrink it down, we contract it to, I'd like.
And that subtle sound is the absolute key to sounding like a local.
It really is.
You say, I'd like some water. I'd like to order pizza. I'd like to learn Spanish. It flows so much better than emphasizing the full word would.
Yeah. So if you are walking the dog right now or maybe doing the dishes, I actually want you to try whispering this out loud to yourself. Feel how your tongue hits the roof of your mouth on that tiny D sound. Just try it. I'd like a coffee.
It's very subtle.
It is. Now contrast that with the bluntness of I want a coffee. Getting that muscle memory in your mouth is honestly just as important as understanding the grammar.
Because building that physical habit stops you from overthinking in the moment.
Totally.
Now, while we are on the topic of polite public language, we have to address a very specific trap that many intermediate learners fall into when they are trying too hard to be polite.
Oh, the formal trap. This is such a common phenomenon.
It really is.
A learner realizes that saying I want a coffee is too direct and demanding. So their brain scrambles for a fancier, more elevated word, and they end up saying something to the barista like, I wish to drink coffee.
Right. And technically, according to a textbook, I wish to drink coffee is grammatically possible.
Sure, it's a real sentence.
But in the real world, it sounds incredibly stiff. It's overly formal and just completely unnatural for everyday conversation. Native speakers simply do not use that phrasing in a cafe.
It makes you sound like a time traveler from the 1800s who just stepped out of a horse-drawn carriage.
Exactly.
Like, I wish to partake in your finest coffee, good sir. It's just entirely out of place. So the golden rule for public, polite spaces remains I'd like a coffee is the correct, natural choice.
So just to summarize that part, direct, casual desire with friends is want. Polite, public desire is would like.
Perfect. So if would like fixes the rudeness of want in the real world, let's see if we can apply it before things get complicated. We're going to throw a quick 3-question mid-dive challenge at you based on what we just covered.
Oh, a pop quiz.
Yeah. This kind of rapid-fire decision-making is fantastic practice if you're prepping for a speaking exam. Just call out the answer wherever you are listening. Ready?
Let's jump in.
Okay. Question 1. You are ordering food at a nice sit-down restaurant. Which option is the better choice? A, I want a coffee, or B, I'd like a coffee.
The correct choice is B. I'd like a coffee is the polite upgrade required for that specific social setting.
Spot on. Okay, question 2. You are trying to sound perfectly natural at a local modern cafe. Do you say A, I wish to drink coffee, or B, I'd like a coffee?
The answer is B again. Option A is the time traveler trap.
Right.
It's far too formal for a modern cafe.
Good. Finally, question 3. You are sitting on the couch with your best friend and you are talking about a direct, practical desire for dinner. Do you say A, I want pizza, or B, I wish pizza?
The answer is A. I want pizza is a direct, achievable desire communicated to someone you have a casual, close relationship with.
Awesome. Acing those small, split-second choices is exactly what boosts your confidence. When you don't have to consciously think about whether to use want or would like, you free up so much mental energy to focus on the actual conversation.
And those micro decisions in vocabulary are precisely what examiners are listening for.
Really? More than big fancy words.
Oh, absolutely. They reveal your fluency level and your grasp of social context much more than using big, complicated, obscure vocabulary words.
That makes total sense. So we've established that want and would like are for things we can actually get or things we actively plan to get, whether it's ordering a pizza tonight or, planning to buy a jacket next week.
Real things.
Real things. But what happens when we leave the realm of reality entirely? What if we want something that is completely impossible?
Now, this is where we cross the border into the territory of the word wish.
Okay, brace yourselves.
This third verb operates on an entirely different linguistic logic than the other two. Wish is not about real things you can easily purchase or practical plans you can make. It's reserved for things that are highly difficult, highly unlikely, or just completely impossible.
It's the verb of the imaginary. We're talking about sentences like, I wish I could fly, or I wish I were taller, or I wish I could speak 10 languages fluently.
Or I wish I could play the piano like a professional.
Yeah.
You cannot just go to the store and buy the ability to play the piano, and you definitely can't easily change your hate.
No, definitely not.
These express a desire for an alternate reality. And because we are talking about an alternate, unreal situation, the English language requires the grammar to change to signal to the listener that we have left the real world.
And this brings up a massive question I had when I was reading through our source material. There's a really strange grammar rule here that I need you to explain.
Certainly, it on me.
So the material shows a common sentence. It says, I wish I had more free time. Why on earth are we using the past tense word had when we are talking about wanting free time right now in the present moment? That seems completely counterintuitive.
Yeah, that is the exact spot where most learners hit a wall.
Yeah.
So let's unpack the mechanics behind it.
Please do.
The crucial rule is this. After the word wish, the grammar shifts to the past tense to signal that the situation is unreal in the present.
Okay.
The past tense in this specific structure has absolutely nothing to do with time. It does not mean we are talking about yesterday.
So if it doesn't mean the past, what is the past tense actually doing there?
Think of the past tense as a metaphor for distance.
Distance.
Yes. In reality, the past is set in stone. We can't touch it, we can't reach it, and we can't change it. It is permanently distant from our current reality.
Wow. Okay.
So English uses that concept of distance to talk about things in the present that are impossible. When you use the past tense after wish, it's a secret grammatical code that tells the listener, I am a long way away from this being true right now.
That makes a ton of sense. It's a linguistic signal.
Exactly.
So if I say, I wish I lived near the beach, I am using the past tense verb lived. But I'm not talking about where I resided 5 years ago. I am signaling to you that currently, in the present moment, I am geographically far away from the beach. The past tense just shows the gap between reality and the dream.
Precisely. Or if someone says, I wish I knew how to cook better, the past tense knew simply means that right now they lack that skill. It's a gap in reality.
This is another great moment to build some muscle memory. Because it feels so strange to use a past tense verb for a present desire, you have to train your brain to stop translating word for word.
You really do.
If you are commuting or making dinner right now, try saying this structure out loud to yourself. Feel how the words connect. I wish I had more free time.
Feel that rhythm.
Yeah, just get used to the rhythm of wish followed immediately by had. Try another one. I wish I lived near the beach.
Building that automatic reflex is vital. When you stop agonizing over the grammar rules in your head and just internalize the rhythm of, I wish I had, you'll start dropping it into conversation effortlessly.
It'll just sound natural. So we've talked about grand dreams, speaking 10 languages, living on a tropical beach. But let's shift from dreaming to venting.
Oh, venting.
Yeah, because sometimes life isn't about grand desires. It's just deeply annoying. How do we deploy wish when we are completely frustrated by the mundane details of our daily life?
Well, when it comes to expressing annoyance or frustration, there is a very specific, highly useful structure we use when we want a situation or another person's behavior to change in the future.
Okay, what is it?
The structure is wish plus someone or something plus would.
Wish plus something plus would. Give me an example of how that sounds when someone is actually annoyed.
Imagine you're trying to sleep and your neighbor is blasting heavy metal music through the walls.
Oh, I've been there.
Right. You're lying awake, staring at the ceiling, and you say, I wish my neighbor would turn down the loud music.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you're stuck inside because it's pouring rain and you desperately need to go for a walk, you might sigh and say, I wish the rain would stop. Or a very universal one, I wish my alarm clock would just stop ringing.
You can just hear the exhaustion in those sentences. It conveys a heavy emotional burden.
It does.
And speaking of emotion, the source material draws a fascinating comparison between the emotional tone of these different verbs. It's not just a matter of swapping out grammar, it's about the feeling you project to the world.
Tone is everything in English. Let's compare two very similar sentences to see how the verb changes the entire narrative.
Okay.
Sentence 1, I want a new car. Sentence 2, I wish I had a new car.
Right, so I want a new car sounds incredibly practical. If someone says that to me, I assume they've been saving up money, they've been browsing online, and they are probably going to the dealership this weekend.
Right, it's a plan.
It sounds like an actionable, achievable goal.
It implies agency and capability. But I wish I had a new car paints a totally different emotional picture.
Yeah, it does.
It immediately suggests to the listener that the car is financially out of reach, or the person has bad credit, or there's some insurmountable obstacle. It shifts the car from being a solid plan to being a distant, wistful dream.
Let's put these emotional tones into practice with another scenario. Let's say we're discussing travel, which is a classic topic for both casual conversation and official speaking exams.
No, definitely.
I'll ask you a question, and I want you to answer using a polite, realistic plan. If you could travel anywhere right now, what is your pick?
Well, if I'm making a realistic, polite plan, I would say I would like to visit Italy next spring, especially the countryside.
Notice how grounded that feel. It sounds like you've actually looked at flights. Now contrast that with a direct casual desire. If I'm talking to my best friend, I might just say, I want to visit Tokyo and Kyoto.
It's very direct.
Right, it's a stated goal, and there's no need for overly polite padding.
Yeah.
But if I had no money, no passport, and no vacation time, I would have to shift to the unreal. I look at a travel magazine and say, I wish I could travel to Japan.
And that ability to seamlessly glide between would like for polite plans, want for direct needs, and wish for impossible dreams is the absolute hallmark of advanced fluency.
Really?
Yes, it shows a deep emotional intelligence in English.
It's brilliant. So to really cement these differences and show how they function in real-world speaking, let's weave all of this together with a narrative from our sources. Let's follow the story of Daniel.
Oh yeah, Daniel.
Yes, Daniel is a very relatable, very tired office worker, and we're going to follow him as he moves through a single Friday.
Daniel's day is the perfect summary of the emotional journey of these verbs.
Yeah.
It tracks his changing relationship with reality throughout the day.
Exactly. So the story starts early in the morning. Daniel's alarm goes off at 6 a.m. He is exhausted. He stares at the ceiling, dreading the commute, and expresses an unreal desire about his present situation. He says, I wish I had more time to relax.
Right, and he uses wish plus the past tense had, because in his current reality, he definitively does not have time to relax.
Sadly, no.
He has to get up and go to work. It's an impossible desire for that moment.
Then he goes to his busy office. Around noon, he takes his lunch break. He's eating a sad sandwich at his desk, scrolling through social media, and he sees photos of an influencer on a breathtaking tropical island.
We've all been there.
We really have. So he sighs deeply and says, I wish I could travel the world.
And again, he is using the verb of the imaginary. Quitting his job today to travel the world is highly unlikely. It's an escape mechanism, a way to vent his frustration with his current reality.
But Daniel is a practical guy. He knows he can't travel the world right now, but he decides to make a realistic, polite plan for the future. So he closes the social media app, opens his digital calendar, looks at his vacation days, and says, I would like to take a vacation next year.
Beautiful. He shifts from the impossible, emotional wish to the actionable, structured would like. He's putting a real plan into motion.
Finally, the grueling workday ends. It's Friday night. Daniel is walking home, he is hungry, and he expresses a simple, direct, highly achievable desire to himself. He says, I want pizza tonight. And honestly, after a long week, that is the most realistic, satisfying wish of all.
It absolutely is. And for the listeners who are actively preparing for a speaking exam, take a close look at Daniel's sequence.
Oh, this is a great tip.
If you can answer an examiner's question by showing a contrast between these states, saying something like, well, I wish I could travel the world, but realistically for now, I'd like to take a short trip nearby, you are demonstrating a massive level of nuance.
Because I'm using both.
Exactly. You are proving you don't just know the vocabulary, you understand the architecture of the language.
You're proving you know the music, not just the lyrics.
Exactly.
So let's quickly recap what we have unpacked today.
It boils down to 3 core applications. First, rely on want for direct, practical desires, mostly with people you are close to. Second, upgrade to would like for polite requests and realistic plans, especially in public spaces or service industry interactions.
Lose the verbal sweatpants.
Lose the sweatpants.
Yep.
And third, reserve wish for the unreal, the imaginary, or those frustrating daily situations that you cannot easily change.
So, to you listening, here is your interactive challenge to lock this knowledge in. Sometime today, I want you to write 3 sentences based entirely on your own life right now. Write 1 sentence using wish about something impossible, 1 sentence using want for a casual desire, and 1 sentence using would like for a polite plan.
And say them out loud.
Yes, say them out loud. Feel the difference in the emotional weight of each sentence.
Because connecting the grammar to your own personal reality is the absolute fastest way to make it permanent in your brain.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a completely new thought to ponder, something that builds on everything we've discussed today. We've spent this whole time looking at how English forces you to change your vocabulary based on whether a desire is realistic or impossible. But consider how other languages you might know or study handle this exact same human emotion.
Oh, that is a fascinating angle. Not all languages divide up the world of desire the same way English does.
Exactly. Some languages don't use entirely different verbs like want versus wish. Instead, they might use the exact same root word, but heavily alter the conjugation.
Or rely on completely different subjunctive moods to show that something is a dream rather than a reality.
Yeah, but English handles it by swapping the tools in the toolbox, moving from want to wish and dragging the past tense along with it.
It makes you realize that learning these rules isn't just about passing a test. You are learning the specific cultural and psychological architecture of how English speakers categorize hope, reality, and impossibility.
So as you go about the rest of your day, pay attention to the desires bubbling up in your own head. Think about how your native language categorizes those feelings, and how English asks you to categorize them differently. Are you living in a world of actionable wants, or are you caught in a loop of impossible wishes? What does the grammar of your daily life say about how you view the world?
It is definitely something to chew on the next time you're standing in line waiting to order a coffee.
Indeed. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Keep practicing, keep paying attention to those subtle, invisible differences, and we will catch you next time as we continue to explore the fascinating mechanics of language.